Yes, sir. I'm working too hard for everything that I got.
All right, yeah, let's start off like this, folks. Let's talk about the market. Talk about stocks real quick, for the night. Let's talk about stocks for the minute. I'm just take about 10, 15 minutes of your time. Let's work. Welcome to another Working Wednesday. So in investing, let's see what the streets is watching. Wall Street, that is. So let's see what they been having going on this week. Monday wasn't nothing for us. Tuesday, no major reports. Wednesday, nothing for us. Thursday, tomorrow, nothing for us. We might hear something back and see, we might hear something back to see how the tariffs affecting goods and stuff like that. So maybe some shakiness on tomorrow. And Friday, nothing for us. So what else happened this week? U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said in a speech that the central bank will wait for greater clarity before considering any interest rate adjustment. Boom. Jerome Powell expects higher tariffs to generate higher inflation and slower growth. So y'all know what that means, right? Motherfucker ain't moving on interest rates, all right? He don't work for the president, all right? He don't work for any elected official. That's what he told, buddy. So gold, they still talking about gold, man. Gold, all in my chain, gold. So prices on gold on roll for the 6th week. Last week on Friday, gold got up to around like $3,335. Might be time to start looking at gold, not buy it, but gold moving like Bitcoin. I think gold outpacing Bitcoin right now, percentage-wise. What else this week? So folks need retail therapy right now. They're going through retail therapy. Look like they're buying up a lot of cars now. Shoot, last month in March, retailer spending habits went up 1.4%. So even though we in the middle of going through whether we in a recession or we're not in a recession, people still want to spend some money. And we see it, as investors, streets is watching. We keep it working. Working Wednesday. Let's see what the GDP is doing. GDP done went down a little bit. And what is GDP? GDP is gross domestic product. It's the total money made from everything sold in the U.S., from iPhones to fast food to Teslas. Let's remember that, folks. As long-term investors in the top 6 tech companies, GDP matters because when the economy grows, businesses and consumers spend more, boosting tech giants like Apple's, Microsoft, and Amazon, all right? If the GDP slows down, spending tightens, right? Which can impact even the biggest companies and smallest companies. Watching GDP helps you see the bigger picture. So are we in a boom or a slowdown? What we see on this scale right here, everything is slowing down. Let's pull up the Fear and Greed Index real quick. So next, let's look at the money. Let's go over the S&P 500, let's go over the VIX, the Fear and Greed, and let's get to the part where we see my account. Where we at? We at a 28 today. So at a 28, that means we're in the fear zone, all right? So right now, the prices that we see, even though they went up, it don't mean that we out of anything, all right? We ain't neutral, we ain't in the green, we ain't extreme greed or not like that. Don't get caught up in the emotions right now. And to help us out with the emotion, let's go over and look at the VIX real quick. The VIX today was at a 28.28. First of all, let's go back a little bit. Let's step back. What is the Fear and Greed Index? The Fear and Greed Index is just a forecast for money, right? See, if we're in the green, greed is like a sunny day, people outside spending money, everybody happy, everything copacetic, everything going on, right? And red or fear is like a rainy day, like today in Atlanta, right? People scared to come outside, they don't want to get caught up in the rain, they don't want to get wet, so what do they do when people get scared? They stay in the house, man, all right? So they start selling, as I say, all right? Like wine or weed, all right? Wine is red, so, the movement is down, drip down, kind of like coming out of the bottle into your cup, down your throat, all that right there. And weed, we get lit up and then, put up in the air. So going back to the VIX being at 28.28 means that we're still above that little meter that, to me, it still means that people are still kind of anxious. My neutral area is like anywhere from like 17 to 18. So I'm still above that 17. And the higher the VIX, right, the more anxious, the more crazy people feeling. And then the lower the VIX, the more calm people are, right? They're making sound decisions when the VIX is low. That's what it means. And what is the VIX? It's basically what I just said, right? Let's go over it one more time. The VIX is a fear meter. So if we in the fear or if we in the greed, most time when we in the fear, most people definitely want to look at the VIX to see how volatile we're moving. or the market is moving right now. And so the higher this VIX is going, let's back up. The higher the VIX is, the more anxious people are feeling, and the lower the VIX is, the more calm people are. I hope we know what the VIX is now. So going on, that S&P 500 today was up 1.67%. So since last week on Wednesday, it's up 0.75%, so 0.75%. That's we cool with it. It could be way worse. And the S&P 500 since November 22nd, 1996 is up 618%. This is on this all-time chart that we see right here. We can see on November 22nd, 1996, the price was at $748.70. And today the price is at $5,375.86. And what is the S&P 500? The S&P 500 is the Standard & Poor's 500. So it's America's top 500 companies in one stock. So it's like going to the grocery store and say you Cat Williams, you got 8 kids, right? Everybody want to eat anything and everything, right? You never know how to make anybody happy. So what are you doing? You going on one aisle and you buying that whole aisle or something. Like say it's like the drink aisle, right? Or the chip aisle, it don't matter which one. Say it's the drink aisle. You go down that whole aisle, you get every single drink on that. You buying the whole aisle as to just buying the Big K or buying the Coca-Cola or just buying waters. And we take this whole aisle and we take it to the house. That's what we have with the S&P 500. 500 companies in one stock. And you can see here on Working Wednesday down below how we purchased the S&P 500 by using Vanguard, which is the VOO, and it's making a killing balancing out everybody's portfolio, my portfolio, your portfolio, hopefully. Everybody that follows and everybody that hits me up and asks me what am I doing, you know, look, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a fiduciary. Take what you hear from me and what you hear from this show as entertainment, as information, and as part of your research only. All investments and all trading has a significant risk. When you are hearing, seeing, or witnessing something great from the show, good, great, or unforgettable, please share. All right, hit up a friend, cousin, sister, brother, daddy, a coworker, business owner, business partner, and let them know. And also comment and like below. Information and community is important. Let's change the culture. Let's build together instead of breaking down one another. Pulling up my account, you see I have $86,729.13 today. I have a day profit of $3,615.41. All right, so let's get into the next segment. Let's talk about the money. Let's play Wine a Week. Let's see what's up and what's down. Let's look at the positions that I'm in. Let's see the companies that I'm investing into. Let's see the trades that I'm into. Most important, let's see the investments that I'm into. All right, so I say trades, we're talking about swing trades, long trades. When I say investments, we're talking about long-term holdings. Let's see what I'm holding on. So we will learn what is a stock, what is an option, what is in the green, what is in the red. All right, what does this mean? When I hear this, what they talking about, bro? First, we see Apple. Up under that, we see what is called a ticker symbol. And what is a ticker symbol? A ticker symbol is just what Wall Street nicknames a company so they can easily find it. And for Apple, the ticker is AAPL, right? So for Apple, are we wine or weed? And what is wine? What is weed? Wine means that we're in the red. And what is in the red? Red means our money or our investment is losing its value at the moment, right? And what is weed? Weed is in the green. And what is in the green? In the green means that our money is making money. Our investment is making money. So right now, look over to the right, and what do we see? We see that this investment, because it's a stock, it's a long-term hold for me, I'm losing $130.40. Currently, might as well say 6% negative, right? So yeah, I'm in the wine. Next, we see Meta, and what do we see beside it? We see a dollar amount. And what do we call that dollar amount, right? So when we see a dollar amount next to a ticker, because META is the ticker for Meta, and we see a dollar amount right next to it. And what do we call that dollar amount? Again, we call it a strike price or a hitting price, right? So we're going to read this out as Meta hitting $710 by September 19th, 2025. My wine or weed at the moment. But yeah, all right, so look over to the right. You see I'm negative 86% on this position. Think about everything earlier that we talked about when the streets is watching. We talk about how there's so much blood in the streets and talk about how the market is down right now at the moment and how people are feeling right now. And these are driving prices down. These are the moments where we want to make purchases into the market, not be scared, right? So I'm losing $20,732 right now. I'm gonna move along. Vanguard, again, going back to stocks. What is a stock? A stock is ownership in a piece of a company. And what is an option? Right? An option is a deal that we make on the stock's future price, right? So in this stock, Vanguard S&P 500, VOO, Are we wine or weed right now? You can look over to the right. You see that I'm making $292.61. I'm up 2% today. So that means that I'm higher on the S&P 500 than the S&P 500 is on itself at the moment for the day. If you go back, you'll see that I think today S&P was up to like 1.66% that we said earlier, something like that. But you see that I have a 2% gain instead. This is why we buy low and we sell high. Microsoft, and we know we back on stocks, right? Drop a yes in the comments. We still on stocks. You see it ticker symbol right below it, just like how we saw on Vanguard, VOO. We see MSFT. We see no strike price. Over to the right, what do we see? I'm negative $541.38, or that is giving me a negative 3.31% return on my money. I am in the red. One. Next, ANET hitting $122.55, right? NVIDIA hitting $150, all right? And Amazon hitting $150. Google hitting $150. Some of the option contracts expiring, I got all the way out until 2026. Some of them later on during 2025. So time is on my side. And I'm good. I'm straight. All right. I got time with these. Right. I'm okay with them being wine right now. All right. We're gonna let the grapes grow. All right. We're gonna let the plants grow. Whatever the plant end up being, the plant end up being something. You know what I'm talking about? Hey man, but hey, when they get into if it ain't a grape and it's a flower, we're gonna let this flower grow until it's time for clipping. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna let it grow for too long. That's greed. Right? And we ain't gonna cut it too short. It's street like that. All right. Next, Eli Lilly. And we see LLY is the ticker. Beside it, you see that I'm making $2,956. All right, I'm up 13%. BlackRock, BLK is the ticker. I'm making $59.22 today. I'm up 1.12%. And JP Morgan, I'm up 67, almost 68%. I have $1,949.20 right there in my pocket. But that's all we got for tonight for Working Wednesday. Thank you for watching. But look, I thank you for watching to this point. And well, that's all for this form of class tonight, folks. Let me know if this show was good, great, or unforgettable. If you learned anything from this show, put a yes in the comments to keep the Working Wednesdays evolving and becoming bigger and better. Do your part, and I'm gonna do mine. Share this right now with 2 people. Like and subscribe, all right, folks? Look, and remember, when we learn together in groups and collaborative learning, people retain the information better, solve problems more effectively, stay motivated, and develop critical thinking skills better. So what better way to do it over wine or weed, the new show in your trap, this trap, that trap. Look, Working Wednesdays at 8 p.m. in Atlanta, New York. All right, every Wednesday with Neal Jones on YouTube. This is Neal Jones Invest with $100,000 worth of information.